What's up everybody, Serial Entrepreneur here, and in this episode we're going to be talking about how to sell your digital marketing agency or SMMA services to clients. So how to actually, go into the meeting, how to sell to them, what you need to be aware of, and how to win them over really. Those kinds of things are what we're going to talk about in this video. So also, I sold my truck and my trailer for my old business, so you're going to get a little preview of that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was just an overall productive day, but it gave me this little shiner right here. Not so fun. It kind of hurt actually a lot, but it's all good. I'm okay. Got a lot of work done today, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you haven't followed me on Snapchat, make sure to do that at Serial ENT. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that yet. There's going to be a lot of great information about digital marketing, and if you're really interested in digital marketing or social media marketing, check out my digital marketing school. It's probably the most affordable one on the market, definitely the most valuable in my opinion. It's only $200. And it's at digitalmarketingschool.teachable.com. Also, if you haven't checked me out on Facebook, check me out at Jordan Steen-Serial Entrepreneur. But for now, let's get to the content. I'm closing up my old business. As a lot of you might know, I used to own a mobile detailing and commercial and residential pressure washing business. So I'm out here today cleaning out the truck. I actually sold the trailer, about to sell the truck today too. Make some extra money to put back into my internet marketing agency, so that's really cool. But yeah, I'm aware that I'm shirtless. It is hot as hell in Georgia, and humidity here. If you've never been to Georgia, it is just sticky hot. So it's not like the desert. It's like wet hot. You just stick to yourself. It's gross. So I'm well aware of that. And I'm super white, so I figured I'd get some sun while I'm doing this, because I'm going to be outside for a few hours. But anyways, I'm just cleaning up today, so figured I'd let you guys know, this is the best part about owning my own business. It's a Monday. I should be in an office if I was at a 9-to-5 type job, but instead I'm just out here cleaning up my old stuff, making some extra money, so it just gives you a lot of freedom to be able to do what you want to do in life now. And I love that aspect of being my own business owner and running my marketing agency. So anyways, I'm gonna go get back to cleaning up some, but yeah, just look forward or stay tuned for more content. I'm going to be putting together some more videos for you guys here very shortly. I got asked to do one on sales and just talking about sales, so I'm probably going to put together a video about sales here pretty soon as well. So might be this video that I'm attaching to this clip, this opener. So we'll see, who knows, but I'm going to go get back to it. You think that generator would be light? It's super heavy. I think it's probably about 200 pounds of dead weight. Probably not 200, it's probably about 150 pounds of dead weight. Not light. And that's pretty much it. They'll come pick up the trailer later. That'll be gone. Hopefully they'll take the truck too. Damn, I gotta clean that out. Got a lot to do. Take you over to see the truck real quick. Show you why I'm dreading this. Angle's gonna be a little weird because it's on my tripod. Alright, you see all that shit back there? Yeah, I gotta get all that out. It's a lot of detailing stuff. Got vacuums, chemicals. Pretty much we're done. So I'm gonna get out of here, go eat some lunch really quick. Bye. Alright guys, lunchtime. Could be two, but I'm a fatty, so I eat the whole bag. So today we have beef lo mein on the menu. It's a beef lo mein stir fry. Should be very, very good. I do this because it saves time. I don't have to think about it, And then we have the finished product. It's deliciousness. Let me tell you, it smells so good. All right, everybody. So like I said in the intro, we're going to talk about sales in this video, and not just sales in general, but specifically how to sell your digital marketing services, how to sell just digital marketing in general. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So the first thing when we're looking at selling digital marketing services in general is you want to make sure is the business able to use your services. Okay. And this is from, a few different perspectives. Can they afford it? If they can't afford the services, you don't need to be talking to them in the first place. And, that kind of goes into the process of where you're doing your research, and are you, making sure that the businesses are going to be something that, for example, if it's a mom and pop restaurant, they have one location and their average menu item is, say, $10. They're not going to be able to afford your services unless they are literally slap full 24/7 like a Waffle House, something like that. That's the only way that could actually work, where they would be able to afford your services, and even then it might be questionable. So that's the first thing. Make sure they can even afford it. Number two, are they even open to it? Some people are just too stubborn. You're never going to get them to do what you want to do. It doesn't matter if they had a gun to their head, they're not going to buy digital marketing services, and it's just because they're so old-fashioned. That's usually what the case is. They're a lot older and they just don't believe in it because of the internet. And so just be aware that you're not going to be able to convince everybody. So make sure it's a customer that's actually going to be interested in your services to begin with. And you can feel that out initially. If they're just shutting you out completely, it's not necessarily all the time that they just can't afford it. It might just be that they don't have any interest in digital marketing or in utilizing those kinds of services just yet. And then the last thing would be, are they currently working with someone? So do they have a digital marketing agency that they're already happy with? If you're going after a business but they already have someone taking care of them and they're happy, then there's no reason for you to sit there and try and sell them some digital marketing services. So that's the last thing. Are they currently working with someone? That's a huge thing. You don't want to, it's not that you don't want to step on toes. You definitely can steal business if the business that they're working with is doing a bad job. But if they're doing good marketing for them, they're probably not going to leave them. All right, so that's the first thing you want to look at, okay? And then the next little part is the top 4 things you need to do or need to know, or that are really just needed to close a sale, okay? And the first one is going to be likability. And you guys have probably heard this a lot from Grant Cardone and several of the other guys who are out there who talk about sales, is if the person doesn't like you, they're probably not going to buy from you. So you have to make sure that you're coming in and you're creating an environment that's going to be positive on both ends. Don't make people feel stupid if they don't know what you're talking about. I've seen that happen where someone kind of belittled the potential client because they weren't aware of something. It's okay to joke and to make fun as long as they're on the same page that you're both joking. But if you're just picking fun and they don't understand that or if there's not kind of an agreement on both sides that you're joking and you have that relationship already, you don't want to make them feel stupid. So make sure that they like you. It's all about creating some comfort with them and really just getting in. So when I go into a sale, I typically don't talk about, or when I go into a first meeting with a client and I'm going in to find that information out, I don't typically go in and start just bashing product and throwing it down their throat and telling them how I'm going to be able to help them and make them so much money. I'm usually just trying to get to know them, get to know their business. I ask tons of questions about just what's going on with their business, what their goals are, what their family life is like. I get that deep into it eventually. That's not the first question. That's kind of weird. But eventually I get into stuff like that, and I try to ask those questions to find out more about them. So that way it appears as if I'm genuinely interested. And most of the times I usually am. Sometimes I really just couldn't care. And that's what those kind of like dry paper, just fly on the wall type people that just aren't very, fun. They're kind of boring. So those people are a little different, but even still you can make them laugh and make it a good time. So likability. The next part is going to be confidence and your personality. So personality kind of goes hand in hand with likability. It's more about confidence really on this second part. And confidence, it says everything about your presentation. If I go in, or if I were to come on camera right here and I stuttered and was like, and I didn't really have much to say, or I wasn't really providing any value or any information that you guys could use, you wouldn't have much confidence in me that I was able to help you. So my confidence in my speech and the way I talk to you guys, this is the same way I talk when I'm with clients. I'm this interactive, I'm this outgoing, and it's because I want to be not entertaining, that's the wrong word, but I just want to be lively. I want to be something that's going to make them look at me, because I'm the person pitching to them. I'm who they should be. If you look around a meeting and you have 4 or 5 people in there, and you see 1 or 2 people on their phone and they're not paying attention to you, you're probably losing their interest right there. So, you have to be able to make them like you, make them believe in you, and that belief comes from confidence. So if they lose confidence in you, they've lost confidence in your business and in your product. So you need to have confidence in yourself to at least be able to let them believe that they can be confident in you as well. If you don't sound confident, if you don't know the information, if you don't have any idea what you're talking about, or if you have too many questions that you have to go back and answer, that means you weren't prepared enough. So that's just something you're going to want to look at, and just make sure that you're doing as much as you can to go in and be prepared. And that goes into the next part. All of these kind of go hand in hand. Your confidence builds off of your preparedness, and that's the third part, preparedness. Did you do the research on the business beforehand? Did you go and try and figure out what size of a business they are, who their managers are, who their owners are, what sales lines or verticals, what products they sell, what verticals do they offer for their business, how long have they been in business, what are their partnerships, that kind of stuff is part of the preparedness. And then do you really know enough about digital marketing to be going out there and talking to these clients yet? Because that's preparing to understand their business is the easiest part, in my opinion. That information can all be found online, and anybody can do this type of information search. But are you prepared in the sense that you know what you're talking about when it comes to PPC, when it comes to SEO? Or is their marketing manager going to show you up when you step in there? I've seen some marketing managers that are excellent at what they do with their businesses, and me talking with them, it's great because they understand me. Are you going to show up to a meeting like that and have their marketing manager show you up? You don't want that to happen, because then they've instantly just ruled you out. They'll find someone else. So preparedness. And then the last part, and this is one of the most important parts in my opinion in sales in general, is your ability to read the audience. Okay, I was actually watching a video of some raw footage of a guy who was talking, showing out, or not showing, but he was pitching to some potential clients his services. And I was watching the video, and I could instantly see the people that he was pitching to getting more antsy, and it was because of the fact that he had lost them about 2 to 3 minutes ago when he just kept going on and on and on and on and on and on about statistics, about Facebook and stuff like that. And that's the thing, is you don't want to go too deep into it. You don't want to give anything in digital marketing, you don't want to go too deep into with these business owners unless you're talking directly with a marketing manager that is familiar with this type of material. And the reason why is because you're going to lose them. I've had so many people come to me and they're like, oh, well, I pitched to all these people, but I never get a call back. And it's usually because you're confusing the crap out of them. You're giving them too much information. I call it information overload. And you guys are doing, if you're having someone that just, when you're pitching to them and they have this confused face look on their face, that instantly tells you you're giving them way too much information. You need to keep things as high level as possible. So when you talk about PPC advertising, you don't need to give them all the details. You need to give them high level information. So something like I usually say would be like, we take your keywords. So if your business is auto, the auto end, we'll do it, for example, my transmission business that I'm working with. Your keywords are remanufactured transmissions, torque converters, stuff like that. This is what I'm saying to them, okay? All we're going to do is we're going to take those words and we're going to target them to people who are already doing searches for those words on Google. That's it. That's all you need to tell them about PPC. We're able to target people who are searching for those words, and we pay a small amount per click to your ad. They're great because they're targeted. You don't pay unless they click on the ad. You never pay unless that person is clicking on the ad, and you know that it's a high quality lead because they just went to Google and typed in, say, remanufacture or used transmission or remanufactured transmission, we'll say Atlanta, Georgia. If they type in a search that specific, it's very specific to what you're trying to sell. So it's a great quality lead. And that's it. You keep it high level. You don't need to give them all the statistics. Either one, they don't care, or two, it's going to go way over their head. So keep it very, very basic with these business owners. Don't confuse them, because as soon as you start confusing them, it's called I like to call it a loss of momentum in a sale. And basically what you're doing is you're building momentum the whole way through the sale, all the way to the point where you actually close them. If you get all the way up and you're getting them excited and you're telling them all this information, and then you start doing information overload, you start going back down. Your momentum's going back down. You're losing their sales interest. So you're going to have to work doubly or triply as hard just to get that momentum back up. So keep that in mind. You want to keep the momentum moving up, so don't lose your audience. Read your audience. Are they losing interest in what you're saying? Are they looking confused? Do they have a confused or perplexed look on their face? Read that and then adjust. Sales is all about adjusting. You have to be able to adjust to your clients or to your potential clients. All right, and then the last two parts, the number 3 is going to be steps to the 2-part sale, okay? And steps to the 2-part sale, this is probably, what you guys are looking for as far as the actual meetings itself. So the first meeting is just the info meeting, all right? You're not going into, so you're going to meet with them twice. That's what I like to make clear here. You're never going to be able to just call up, meet in, go with them, and pitch them and sell them right there. That very rarely happens, and if you do, you haven't done enough research to be able to give them a fair price, what they need as far as their exact marketing, in my opinion, because everything's customized. So you want to go in and into the info meeting, and the biggest thing, so first off, this is the first time you're meeting them. This is the opening, the opening type, or the opening portion of the meeting, the opening to the relationship or the first impression. That's what I like to think of it as, because it is a first impression. And this is where you're going to want to do some ice breaking. So just getting to know them, asking them questions about their business, themselves, saying something funny. You just want to keep it up and light, very, very light, not anything too heavy yet. All right, so once you get to know them a little bit, you have some conversation, you don't actually, break into the business or what services you offer, anything like that. You just get, basic information about them, make them like you, likability. And then once you do that very first part, the icebreaker, you're going to want to start asking them questions about their business. And I'm actually, you can see my computer over there, I left a link. I'm going to upload this, lesson type thing to YouTube, so you guys will have a link in the description below. I would recommend looking at this link that I posted. HubSpot put together a 90 question article, and those 90 questions go over questions that you can ask your potential marketing clients when you're going in to find out information about their business. So it's 90, so like, how much have you spent on your marketing in the last year? What types of marketing have you done? What is your cost per acquisition? Those are great questions. So check out that link. It's going to be really great for you. Another free resource for you guys. Please use that. All right. And then the next thing you're going to want to do after you ask your questions is set the next meeting. So that's really just it for the first meeting. It's very simple. You want to go in, you make them like you, you ask them a bunch of questions about their business, see what they're trying to do, figure out their goals. That's part of the questions. Figure out what their goals are for their business, and then after you do that, you set the next meeting. That's it. You say, okay, now I'm going to go back. I'm going to put together your marketing campaign that is specific to your business. I do everything custom. I don't ever just throw together a package, because I don't believe in that. That's what I say, and that's what I do, because I believe in that strongly. If you do a customized package, you don't just throw together a templated package for them. It works a lot better. So keep that in mind for your businesses also. But setting the next meeting, let me go through these points really quick, because this is some good stuff. Okay, guys? All right. Don't let the next, okay, so this is probably the most important part. Don't let the next meeting be scheduled further than a week and a half to at most 2 weeks away from the meeting that you're currently at. So if you're at a meeting on a Monday, you need to schedule it no more than a week and a half away from that Monday that you're currently at. And the reason why is because you're going to lose them. You're going to lose their interest. You're going to lose all the momentum you just built up. They're not going to have any idea what you were even talking about, because they're going to forget. I promise you, no matter how much information you just spit at them, I guarantee you they're going to forget about 90% of it. So you want to set that meeting up very, very quickly. I try to do it in the same week if I can. I try to do it in the same week, if not a week and a half, no more than a week and a half. If you have to go over a week and a half, obviously that's okay. Just know that you're going to have a lot smaller of a follow through, or a lot less likely of a follow through with the next meeting with that customer. So if you set up a meeting 3 weeks out from your first initial meeting, they might cancel on you, and usually they do if it sets up that far out. So keep that in mind, set it up as quickly as possible, try to do it same week if you can. Next day is even those are the best. Next day means they're super interested and they want to hear what you have to say. So anytime you get that, just keep that in mind. Anytime someone tells you, like, yeah, I want to meet with you tomorrow, they're really interested in what you have to say, so do a good job. Also, be prepared to go home all night and put together a proposal and stay up all night doing that if you want to meet with them tomorrow, because you can't put those things together quickly. You will miss something and it won't be foolproof. So make sure you put those together, put those proposals together, and take some time, put some thought into it. All right, so after you set that meeting, and you get it on your schedule within the first week and a half to no later than 2 weeks, you're going to follow up with them at some point between your next meeting. And the reason why is to keep them engaged with you, keep them in the know. Maybe send them an article or something that's interesting that they can read, something very small and very light, not too detailed. You're not trying to give them too much value. They don't care, I promise you. All right, and then the next part is going to be, a day or two in advance of the actual meeting that you guys have set up for the secondary meeting. So where you're actually going to pitch the proposal, you want to give them a call and reconfirm that meeting. And the reason why is because a lot of people will forget. That's the thing you'll learn very quickly in sales in general, but especially in this industry in general, or in this industry specifically, because people just are forgetful, and then you give them something that's very complex and very hard to remember, they forget even more. So that's why I say keep it basic, and just make sure you're touching base with them as much as possible without being annoying, and make sure that you have a valid reason. That's why I typically, for the follow-up, I'll usually try to send an email to that person and see if they can benefit from something that I send them via email, in some form of value, whether it be another form of an audit, or maybe something that they can do specifically right now to instantly help out their presence online, something like that. So again, just reconfirm your meeting with them, and it's a great way to make sure that you stay at the top of their mind. You get the location again if you need to, so just like that, and just to remind them again. So last part, about the proposal is, don't give away any numbers or pricing information at this meeting. You don't really want to ignore their questions, because they will probably ask it. It is a question that most business owners will ask because it's their biggest concern. How much is all this going to cost me? After everything is said and done, you can give them the most awesome package in the world, but if they aren't able to afford it and it's $10,000 out of their budget range, you just missed the point completely. You didn't do enough research to understand that they can't afford something like that. So you don't really want to say a price. So what I say is typically something like this. I don't want to say a price, and to be completely sorry, I'm trying to read this as a script like I don't know. Okay, I don't want to say a price and be completely off base. Basically, I could tell you something right now, but every marketing campaign is different. Every business is in a different stage, and I don't believe in one set package for marketing campaigns or marketing strategies online. I do something that is customized for every business. If the package is customized, the price is customized, because I don't believe in just setting one thing for each business and letting it go like a template. So typically, Mr. Business Owner, it can range, and that's usually where I'll end it. But if they keep on, if they're persistent, what I'll usually say is something like, Mr. Business Owner, my minimum monthly retainer is $1,000 a month, so I can tell you that right now. I don't do anything less than $1,000 a month. And the other side of it is, I would say that the average business ranges from $2,000 to $5,000 a month, just depending. The $1,000 is a very basic package that most businesses, they can benefit from, kind of, but if they're at a certain point in their business life cycle, you really want to do a more in-depth campaign than just the $1,000 to see results. So it just depends on where your business is at, and that's why I'm having this meeting with you to kind of discuss, what I had this meeting to figure out what your business is currently doing, what you guys can kind of afford. So that way I don't go back and put together a package that's completely out in right field and has nothing to do with what your business can afford. So that's typically what I will say with the business owner. And you don't want to say numbers because it'll scare them away. All right. You have to think, that is the biggest concern, is price. But if you go ahead and just walk in there and tell them $5,000 a month without actually showing them the value of that $5,000, it's not going to make sense to them. That's why the whole, next meeting is building value in your products and services, showing them how you're going to generate them more than $5,000 that they're spending a month with your marketing efforts. So that's just one thing or a couple things you want to keep in mind for the info meeting. Keep it very, very light overall. Make them like you, and if you get enough information, collect enough information, you'll be able to go back and put together a proposal that will be specific to their needs, and not something that's just hacked up and templated to fit any business. In a general sense, the marketing campaigns that we run are templated in the sense that every business can benefit from the same platforms almost, not from a social media perspective, but you can pretty much use every type of internet marketing, so email campaigns, PPC, SEO, web development, and social media, in some form or fashion to increase a business's growth or sale. But you don't want to go so specific to say each business needs this platform, and it needs to look this way and this way. It's too specific. So I think I've hit the nail on the head there, huh? All right. The next one is going to be the proposal meeting, and the proposal meeting is basically where you're going in. You've had your first meeting, you collected all the information, you went back, put together an awesome proposal, and now you're going to sell them. You're going to get them in love with not only you, they've already started to like you, so you're going to do some more of that, but you're going to get them to love your product as well. You're going to show them the value, and again, keep it very high level. Don't go too detailed. That's what a lot of people will do with the proposal when they show them what they're actually going to do for the business. They go too in deep, and then you confuse them again, and you lose them, and the momentum goes back down. All right, so keep the momentum up by keeping it light. Do higher points, and speak in business terms. Don't speak in marketing terms. Speak to where the business owner is going to be able to understand you. If you say, oh yeah, and then PPC does this for your business, without explaining what PPC is or means, you've lost them already. So make sure you're explaining these things. You might understand. They don't, I guarantee, okay? Or at least not the business manager. The marketing manager should understand what you're talking about, but they might not as well. All right, so again, when you get to the proposal meeting, you're going to want to start with an opener, icebreaker, make them like you again. They did forget about you a little bit, not too much if you've done your follow-up and kept in touch with them, but you do want to do that opener, icebreaker again. And then the biggest part of a sales meeting is just controlling the room. So when you actually go in to pitch these business owners, it's a little different than your first meeting. You're actually trying to sell them something now. You're in sales mode. When you're back at the proposal meeting, you can be in a little bit of a sales mode, but you don't want to be too much. You're not trying to scare them off or push them away just yet. Not at all, actually. But you don't want to push them away, so you don't actually sell too much. But in the second meeting, it's all about selling. It's all about making sure that they love your product and that they want to purchase from you. So control the room, and that simply means don't let it get off topic. Don't let things stray too far from what you should be talking about, because it loses momentum in the sale. And it's going to sidetrack everybody, get them off topic, and then they start to forget what you were even talking about. You want to keep them very focused, and you want to be the one who is in charge. One of the things, or one of the principles that they teach in sales is mimicking, and it's that you don't want to be the one mimicking the business owner. So for example, if the business owner sits down in a chair and crosses his leg and has his hand on his head, if you're sitting in there and you see him do that, it's a natural tendency for some reason for another person who is not in control to lean back, put their leg up, and put their hand on their head. So two of you are sitting there doing that, and you're mocking him. Somebody's probably not going to do this in a meeting. It would be something like crossing a leg, putting their hand on their face, something like that. But anytime that situation happens, you want to basically first of all, stop yourself from doing that, readjust your position, and then stay in control. Don't get too excited. Don't start blurting out stuff because you're getting excited. Stay calm, stay collected, stay cool. That's what they see as confidence. If they see someone starting to get super excited, it seems like you don't have any business and you're about to get your first client. And even if that is the case, you don't want them to know that. You want them to think that you are a confident, well-versed digital marketing agent or digital marketer. So control the room. That's a very important thing. You want them to mimic your body language. Don't be mimicking theirs. And then the third part is to pitch your proposal with confidence. You know, if you've prepared enough, if you know your proposal from front to back to front, you don't have to worry too much. If you know the material, if you know what you're actually working with, if you know how to perform the services, they can't really tell you how to do stuff. You're actually the one in charge and the one who can, control that conversation. And they want to see that you can do that. If you can't control your own conversation about your own services or products, it's going to make them very hard to want to, work with you. So part 4 is very quickly summarize the proposal. So after you've pitched it, you want to quickly do a summarization of everything that you just covered. Ask questions. Make sure they don't have any questions. Let them ask you questions. You're going to have some objections at some point to some things. Most people won't object in the beginning because they're trying to learn and it's very complicated. So that's why, again, keep it high level, but they're trying to learn, so they won't have too many objections right there, but it's usually at the close or when you try to drop the price, stuff like that. When they'll say like, oh, well, I just don't know, and then that's where you have to, well, Mr. Business Owner, you said you wanted to get sales, and I know this is how you're going to get sales, blah, blah, blah. Just overcoming the objections. So very quickly, at the very end, summarize the proposal, and then number 5 is just lay down the price. Say the price. Say it with confidence. Don't say it like, oh, well, the price is going to be $5,000. That doesn't seem very appealing to a business owner. They're like, well, damn, you're charging me $5,000, but you don't seem like this is going to even work. So make sure that it's, you say it with confidence. And then once you lay down the price, wait. Don't say anything. I know it's going to feel awkward, especially if it's your first time doing it, but say the price and just be silent. And then let them say the first thing that comes out of their mind. But you don't want to be the one to jump out there first and say something. And the reason why is because they're thinking. It's going to seem awkward, like I said, but you want them to have that time to think and to process everything you've just told them. And they're going to ask. They're either going to say, "Okay, let's do it." There's 2 options that are going to come from that. A, let's do it, sign me up, and they're happy with it, boom, you just got a sale. Or B, they're going to say, well, I don't know, and this is the next part, where, if they say, okay, I want it, basically, you sign your paperwork, you sign them up, you go back and you do your onboarding. And you let them get familiar with your onboarding process, you tell them about what you're about to do, what they're about to get involved with, stuff like that. And then at the very end, or if that is the case, then good. But if they don't purchase it right there, they're going to have questions or they're going to be concerned about something. And it's usually something like the price was too high, they didn't feel comfortable with what you've presented, and that is a real thing. Don't be too arrogant to think that you are perfect and didn't mess up at all. Everybody makes mistakes in this. I made so many when I was first beginning. I wish I had a recording of my very first sales meeting. It was nerve-wracking. I was sweating everywhere. So I get that it's hard, but that's why practice makes perfect. My first one was not good. I went to several failures before I went to a meeting, and I was just like, oh yeah, I killed that, So, make sure, or their issues will be the price was too high, they weren't comfortable with what you presented, or don't understand how this is going to help. You might have confused them, or they don't think you're legitimate, and that could be a real thing. So that, you're going to want to pay attention and ask those questions. They've changed their minds altogether. That could be a whole nother reason. They just don't feel like they want to do marketing anymore. Or maybe they had a breakthrough in sales in the last 2 days and they don't want to talk to you about it anymore. They changed their minds altogether, so that's that one. And then they've decided to go with the competition. Maybe they're, people shop in marketing. They're not just going to choose you because you're the first person to talk to them. Just because if you were the first person to walk in that door and set up a meeting, I bet especially if they have someone to manage that side of their business, they're going to go out and shop that option and make sure that you're not overcharging them. So they've decided to go with the competition, and then that's most of the reasons why. So here's a pro tip for you guys, and again, I'm going to leave this document online for you guys so you can see it. I'll leave it in the link in the description below. But a pro tip is don't be afraid to ask them why they didn't buy or why they didn't want to go with your services. So Don't say that directly, but be like, so I'm just wondering, you said, and always give them back what they said to you, because it reaffirms that it is something that they said they wanted. So call out something specifically. So if they said, well, we really want to increase our sales, and if you know it's not that they're going with the competitor, then you want to say something like, well, you said you wanted to increase your sales, and that's what this plan of action is going to do. Was it because of price? Because they could just be giving you reasons. People will always build up reasons in their mind not to buy something if they're not 100% committed already. So you want to look for those reasons that they're really not trying to buy. You have to filter out, is that a BS excuse, or is that the real legitimate reason why they don't want to buy from me? So it's a lot of questions, and not just saying, oh, okay. If you just say okay to the no, you're never going to get a sale. I'll tell you that right now. Sales do not come from the immediate yeses. Those are very rare. You have to work through a bunch of no's and figure out what it is exactly to figure out why, because they'll talk themselves out of it. Even if you did a amazing job on your proposal, they'll still talk themselves out of it. So you're trying to actually dig deeper, figure out what it is that made them not want to buy. And that's pretty much it. Just don't be afraid to ask why they didn't go with you, why they didn't want to purchase your services. You need to figure that reason out so you know how to adjust later, or maybe you can work your way into still getting a sale. I've done that before several times. So, and then the last part is execution of the plan. Just because you sign them up does not mean you are done with this sale. If you go back and the next 2 weeks you don't do anything, and then you don't give them anything for 2 weeks, you just lost that sale. And especially if you're doing that free guarantee where you give them your money back in a month, you just lost that sale. And you're going to have to give them that money back, and that's not a fun feeling. So make sure that when you get done, the next month is still part of that sale. And actually, the whole relationship is part of that sale, because they can pull that budget at any time and stop dealing with you. So you want to keep that business as long as possible. Execute. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. So go back and get to work. Start busting out whatever you can for this business. If you can't start advertising yet on Facebook, or because you have to do a bunch of setup, then get on that setup. Make sure you're doing it. So that's the plan. That's the sales, I guess, really 101 for you guys. Just some basics that you need to know about going into a meeting and how you can actually prepare yourself specifically for digital marketing and selling digital marketing. So I'm going to get out of here for now, guys. I've had so much fun doing this video. This is some of my favorite stuff. As you can see, I'm a very talkative person, and that's why these videos half the time go so long. But I enjoy this stuff, and I hope this is helpful for all you guys who are having trouble with selling to your digital marketing clients or getting digital marketing clients. So again, if you haven't subscribed, definitely jump down below and click that subscribe button. If you're looking for more in-depth information like this, go to digitalmarketingschool.teachable.com. That's my online marketing school for online marketing. And basically check that site out. It's only $200 still, so you guys are going to get a ton of value from that. If you haven't followed me on Snapchat, follow me at Snapchat at SerialENT, and then on Facebook at Jordan-Serial Entrepreneur. I love getting feedback from you guys there and getting messages. I actually sent out a message the other day on Snapchat and got a ton of messages back at once. It was awesome. You guys are a lot of fun. So I appreciate everything that you've done for me, and that's why I continue to give out free content along with my paid content. So I hope this is helpful again for you guys, but I'm going to go get out of here. I got some work to do this morning. So for now, Serial Entrepreneur out.